worried about wealth inequality in this country?
Well, no, you make your money. There's no wealth inequality. You either work and earn money, or you don't work and you don't earn money. What's unequal about that?
There's no wealth inequality in this country? It's just about working and not working?
Work off and you make money. The harder you work, the more luck you have.
This MAGA man is the poster child of right-wing propaganda and the embodiment of everything the ruling class wants to see from the American public. Zero critical thinking skills, zero empathy for his fellow Americans, and most importantly, absolutely zero class consciousness.
Public school teachers not work that hard?
Why? What do they have to do with it?
Well, I'm asking if public school teachers do public school teachers work hard?
Absolutely, they do. Yeah.
They make very little money.
That's their problem.
There you have it, shifting the blame for public school teachers for being criminally underpaid and overworked onto the teachers themselves, instead of the system that devalues their worth in society and demonizes the profession, while permitting and encouraging them to be exploited, is textbook right-wing politics and protects the interests and power of the ultra-wealthy ruling class as well as the politicians on their payrolls.
We've been hearing that Donald Trump is for the people. Do you agree?
Yes, I do. And I really believe he can and does hear the American people. And I think he really does have a heart for America.
Why do you think he keeps appointing all these billionaires, people that are famously out of touch with regular people?
I don't know that they're necessarily out of touch with the regular people.
If you can't recognize that your economic interests more closely align with a minimum wage food service worker rather than someone like Donald Trump and the oligarchs he's serving, you're selling yourself short.
Well, I mean, someone like Elon Musk gets $450 billion. It's more money than you could spend in like thousands of lifetimes. Some people would say it's almost resource hoarding. You could solve homelessness in the United States with $50 billion. So to have $450 billion and just to hold on to it, it's almost hard to imagine caring about the average person if you have that much, way too much to ever spend in your life or your family's life or your kids' lives or their kids' lives or any more than you could ever possibly spend. Yeah. How could you be in touch with the regular person's mindset?
No, you're right. That seems unfathomable to people like us, you and me. I can't picture what $1 billion looks like, right?
Even when presented with irrefutable evidence, Davern Stiefler's argument goes right over his head. There are so many factors that go into someone falling into the right wing's trap, but their media ecosystem is largely responsible for the wholesale erosion of critical thinking and class consciousness.
Baron oligarch thing that they're fantasizing about and bureaucrats, it just blows my mind. All of the misconceptions. You know, when the so-called robber barons came in for the 100 years before that, wages were like this. After this, they went like that for 100 years. Oh, when the robber barons came in, life expectancy in America was like this. All of a sudden, it went like this. I mean, there was a positive impact, and it was the oligarchs who drove that.
Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStrom Show. Also, be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
Focus on staying the preeminent nation in the world, not this sort of sicking all these IRS agents on small businesses, because essentially that's what it was. And that's the way it was sold to the American public, that somehow they're going to make the rich, who are already paying far more than their so-called fair share, pay even more, was always preposterous.
Let's just call this what it is. Manufacturing consent for and justifying billionaires feeling entitled to the wealth our labor produces.
In our administration, we have a tremendous amount of billionaires who are successful businessmen, and I could name them all, but we know who they are, who have taken a leave, sold their companies, walked away from their lives to sacrifice to help America be great again. There are many.
Having a small club of billionaire psychopaths directly influencing policy and ransacking our government agencies is not something to be proud of unless you stand to personally benefit from this brazen plutocracy.
Elon's goal isn't to run the country. His goal is to it is to find waste, fraud, and abuse and streamline what government
and put more money in his pocket.
He posts that meme all the time of an engine going from this super complex thing to this more sleek, powerful option. That is what he is doing, and he is unleashing programmers into department.
Comedian Roy Wood Jr. was on point as usual, responding to this BS Republican talking point.
I'm just here to renovate your government a little bit. This is
maybe he wants to be the first trillionaire. You said he wants to line his pockets. His pockets are pretty full. $400 billion.
When have you ever met a rich person who says,
I don't want any more money.
I don't need any
Jeffrey
more money.
Tubin.
Right.
He's 100% right. No one should be naive enough to think the world's richest man is legitimately motivated to improve the lives of average Americans when acquiring the immoral amount of wealth he already has is predicated on inhumane levels of exploitation and suffering.
And I thought, it was an intentional bit of symbolism. It wasn't like a mistake. It wasn't like they were like, oh, where do we seat these guys? Oh, I'll just give them the front row. They were saying something there. Both the people attending, Bezos et al., and Trump and his crew. As an American, I feel anger, but I also feel a kind of cold sense of clarity. In some ways, I've actually thought that the last few weeks have been usefully clarifying. The interests of these folks are aligned with the interests of Donald Trump. And that they were working very hard to obscure that before. But I think that it's useful for everyone to see it for what it is.
While Chris Hayes isn't wrong about the scenes at Trump's inauguration speaking for themselves, that cold sense of clarity hasn't struck nearly enough of our fellow Americans yet to spark any real substantive grassroots opposition to the oligarchy. We're going to need to hear a lot more of this from our elected officials if we want to preserve the crumbs of democracy we still have left.
Mr. Talcove, do you know how much money a day Mr. Musk will receive from the federal government for his contracts?
No.
The answer is $8 million a day. Just last year, Elon Musk was promised $3 billion from close to 100 contracts with the federal government. Ms. Royal, do you know how much the average person in this country who survives on Social Security, one of our seniors who's worked their entire life, about how much they have to survive on a day?
I do not.
$65 a day. We're not looking into Elon Musk's $8 million a day. This subcommittee, chaired by Marjorie Taylor Greene and the House Republicans, is looking into your grandmother's $65 a day. Let me be clear. I think we would all support taxpayer savings, look into money we might needlessly send to billionaires and big corporations, find taxpayer savings, and send it back to your hardworking family. But instead, what House Republicans and the Trump-Musk administration want to do is they want to look into your kids' lunch money, your kids' teacher's salary, into your grandparents' Social Security. They want to take that money and give it out in billionaire tax cuts, and they're talking about that in committee tomorrow. In Budget Committee tomorrow, they just released their plan. So let me be clear. When Republicans talk about government efficiency in this Congress, they're not looking into billionaires who don't pay their taxes. They're not looking into billionaires who get rich off of government contracts. They're not looking into Elon Musk firing watchdogs who are supposed to keep him accountable. They're looking at cutting your public schools. They're going straight for your Social Security. They're coming straight for cancer research. They're coming straight for the Department of Education. They're not looking at big tech. They're not looking at big pharma because those people fund their campaigns.
If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.